G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 31 of my Beginner's Vitality Ritualist playthrough. In between episodes, I went and I talked to Dahlia, or Dela, whatever her name is, over here in the outskirts of Malmouth. I talked to her, I turned in the quests that we were doing at the end of the last episode, and she gave me the Blaze Heart here. This is always the reward for her final quest there. You will always get this if you do her quest line. And unfortunately, you will only ever get one of these per character. So if you're ever making a character that needs one of these, yeah, you're going to have kind of whatever roles you get, and that's it. So do hang on to these just in case you get a character later that you actually want to use that for. It's better to have one per character you've already done than to have sold almost all of them and have none left, and you just kind of have to deal with the rolls you get. Okay, with that said, we are doing the Dark One set today. Pretty much unanimous responses, in fact, literally unanimous responses on the previous episode at time of recording this one. Every single person who responded wants to see the Dark One set farmed, so that's what we're doing. And we're going to need a few things for that. The first one is an Ancient Heart and a Black Tallow. The second one's a little easier. You may or may not need a Dynamite as well, but one Dynamite most people are going to have. The second part is just run over here. You'll get a little message here about Sedina's Memento, and you will get Sedina's Memento. Now, this is another one-time per character item, and this is a quest item. So you really have to be careful about this one. If you want to use it, you can. I'm just looking at the numbers on these. This is a godlike Sedina's Memento. You roll, I think it's 20 to 30% on every resistance, and I've got multiple 30s and a 29 there, so this is really, really, really good. The issue, of course, being this will solve all your resistance problems, but you don't get +1 to skills, you don't get any kind of monster infrequent bonuses to other skills, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Regardless, we do need one of those. Okay, next stop is going to be the Gloomwald, and we are going to go and do the Nain's Stash quest. Now, I think I didn't do this on the way through because I did know that I would need to do it for getting access to the Dark One stash. The Edge of Reality, I think it is where we are going, and Nain's Stash is required to get access to it. This quest will also give you access to Lokar. Lokar is in a little side area off of the Edge of Reality. I will not be going in there. I do have a video on how to kill Lokar, how to do the Lokar fight, if you wish to watch that. It will also go through how to get access to him. This character maybe can kill him. It would require kiting. You will not be able to stand in his face and blow him up. But anyway, I don't recommend it. All right, let's just, you know what? Go on Spirit. And 2 additional skill points. Let's go ahead and chuck them into Mark of Torment. And I mean, I'm thinking the bar, honestly. That'll do for now. Okay, so we've got Sedina's Memento, we've got a Black Tallow, we've got an Ancient Heart. I've already done this. Okay, so the lore note will drop from this chest here, will be called Nain's Stash. You'll pick it up, you'll read it, it'll give you a quest. Go ahead and do that quest. I'm going to go to where that quest would lead. Maybe I didn't blow it up. I'm not sure. Regardless, we're going to go over to the Dynamite site that may or may not be blown up on this character. And then we are going to go in. It is indeed blown up just here. You can see there's the Gloomwald Crossing Rift. This is where we are going. We want to go in here. There will be an Exalted Stash in here. I've obviously already picked this up. And then in Normal and Elite, this is as far as you can go. In Ultimate, however, you can run straight through this little gap. This doesn't exist in earlier difficulties, and you can come over here to Arcturus the Cursed Smith. Lore note? Lore note. Okay. So I'm not going to read these, but I will leave them on the screen for a second so you can pause and go ahead and read them. Arcturus here is one of the hidden smiths. There are several of them. Arcturus's main/only reason for existing, we'll discuss those at another time. His only reason for existing is the Heart of Darkness. and the Dagalon's Annihilator and Destroyer changing. But that's not for us. We're here for the Heart of Darkness, so 1 Black Tallow, 1 Ancient Heart, Consecrated Wrappings, a few bits. I don't think you actually need to bring these with you, but I did. Anyway, so Heart of Darkness is the second item that we need. So Dina's Memento, the Heart of Darkness, and then the third item we need is from north of Barrowhome. Third item we need is the Stormheart. I believe it's mythical, but we've already had the Blaze Heart. Now we are going to get the Stormheart, and the Chill Heart is not required for this. Chill Heart is a Forgotten Gods item, which again you can only get one of. Same with the Stormheart, you only get one of them. So make it count when you do get it. Don't throw it out, don't sell it, don't dynamite it. Make sure you hang on to it just in case you want to use it. If you've played my Primal Strike Elementalist build, you'll know that the final build that I ended up using for that character had Stormrend in one heart and the mythical Stormheart in the other hand. So having options for different roles on that would be good. So if you're ever interested in playing Primal Strike dual wielding build, definitely want to hang on to them. And just in general. I see a star, I have to go back. Alright, there we go. Wraithbound, Bound Wraith of Binding would be amazing. It would also be very, very strange, because it's super rare. Alright, you don't have to fight these. In fact, we are going through a portal at the top, so you can skip all of this stuff if you want to. Alright. They gave me a hero, I have to kill it. Enslaved Wraith of the Flamecaller, okay. And we go through into the Chthonic Rift. So where we are heading here, have I revealed it? I have. It's kind of up here in the top left corner. Let's head over that way. One good thing about doing this farm now, instead of later, is that I don't really have Nemesis with anything except the beast. So I'm almost certainly not going to have to worry about any Nemesis spawns. I thought I saw these guys. Someone's casting something there and giving them buffs. This is the insert brain here arrow that you can get from certain items. Alright, that's fine. We'll keep heading up here. Now there's going to be a desk with a couple of jars next to it, and a third jar is actually going to appear with a crackle of chaos type energy. I'll point it out when it happens, but by the time I say anything, it's probably already happened and you won't be able to see it, so just keep an eye out. It should be coming on screen now-ish. Nope, we're not far enough north yet. Here it is. So you'll see just here, there's my Stormheart. Okay, we are going to kill a few other people as well. I'll have to go back for it. I don't know why I'm kiting. I definitely don't need to. But apparently I've decided that I need to for some reason. And it sounds like I'm standing in goop. Alright, grab the loot. Mythical Stormheart is the third item that we need to get. This is a decently poorly rolled version. But this little table here, it will spawn in front of it. This is where we are on the map. Devotion Shrine for kind of location. And then we exit the menu and come back. So we've crafted the Heart of Darkness, we've got the Stormblood, now we have only one more stop before we are, quote-unquote, there. And that is to head to the outskirts rift here, and we have to clear a whole bunch of this. Now there are 3 places where Flammon Blue can spawn, and he is an enemy zombie, so we can kill him, but we don't want to. We want to escort him to just down here where the shrine was. I haven't uncovered it. It's alright, we'll go back. This devotion shrine, we want to escort him to literally right next to it. Now, I'm going to clear a whole bunch of this trash because I want the path between this little platform, which you can't really see at the moment, and that devotion shrine. I want that to be as clear of enemies as I can reasonably make it. Then we're going to go and see if he's spawned there. And if he has, then we don't have to check any of the other locations. Most likely, though, he didn't spawn there. But we will see, we will see. Alright, this is where we're going. So this little circle with the blue flame next to it is where we are escorting Flamond, or Flamiond, or however you want to say it. I don't speak French. Over to there. So just clear this building out as well. I do want to be thorough. If I get hit, I leave damage on the floor. So I want to kill everything that could potentially hit me. And I think we're good there. So first place to check. I will actually hit all 3 places just so as I can show it, because I guarantee you if I skip one, someone's not going to have found theirs and they will wonder where it is. Alright, first place is on here. Now, I'm going to wait for this proc to go away. I know it's melee range, but I just want to be thorough. Okay, he's not here. He comes up kind of in this little part of the platform. So first spot, he would have kind of crawled out of the ground there. But yes, he is indeed not here. So let's head to the second spot. Second spot is a little more annoying, I guess we'll say. This section has a lot of goop on the ground. I don't really love this part, but we can go down here. And I'm looking, I think it's at the other side of that bridge. Definitely standing in Aether Fire there. I hope it's not this one, because this one's a pain. We'll just go over here. And as soon as I see him come out of the ground, I'm going to panic and run away. And hopefully not have too much goop on the ground that can hurt him. In fact, I'm going to wait for this to wear off just in case. Let's go down a little bit. Okay, and I'm pretty sure he's either on the other side of this bridge and not this one, or he's not here. So I am going to check over there. Again, waiting for the damage to go away. And I don't see him, which is good, because that means he's likely not here. However, I am going to go and poke my head across the bridge again. Dark Flame Chest is good. Okay, yeah, he's definitely not here. This is a trap, but that's okay. We can kill the trap. The great thing about this area as well is everything you kill is Black Legion and Mammoth Resistance reputation, so happy to be killing everything. Alright, so first spot is just here on this platform. Second spot I think is over here, but it might be over here. It's one of these 2 bridges. He's just to the right of it. I'm fairly sure it's the far one. But I'm kind of glad it wasn't that one this time, because I have a miserable track record of actually escorting him from that spot. I have done it successfully, but I have done it not successfully a lot more times. Third place he can spawn, which, unless I've missed him, is where I'm going to find him, is over here in this little house. Now, once again, you want to clear everything, and this one I've done a few more times, so I kind of know where you can stand, where you want to avoid in order to not spawn him early, because he is proximity based basically. So you can walk in here, and as long as you don't go up here, you're going to be fine. So we can walk. Can I hit him? No. As long as you don't go up there, you're going to be fine. So I'm watching up kind of here-ish for when he spawns, but as long as I don't go any further in, I can fight all of this stuff. I can leave goop on the ground, and it won't matter. I am going to wait until all of this goes away. So there is going to be a little bit of just standing here and waiting. This is also me. That's not me. So here he comes out of the ground. There he is. Okay. So Flamon Blue, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me. That's our escort quest. You know what? I'm going to bring you down here. Good, you're dead. Now you don't go near any of that stuff. I didn't clear this, which is a mistake. That's fine. He will follow you from a little ways off screen. As long as he's in front, I'm happy, because it means that this guy will not be able to interfere. And yes, we want to just drag him all the way over here. He's going to follow us. He will follow from a little ways off screen, but don't go too far, because he will reset or die. But we can get him onto the portal, and there is our Ethereal Rift. So before you go in here, you must have the Storm Heart, you must have the Heart of Darkness, and you must have Sedina's Memento, because we are going to give these away as a gift. So you make it to this little section here. You can see this is where we just cleared the house and escorted the dude. Little portal over here. This is indeed our last chance. Once again, you can pause to read that if you wish. The Bound Spirit here wants to get gifts. Now, we can give the gifts here, and if we don't have one of the items, it'll have different things. Where can I find these? Just have them all on your inventory. It will take... You will lose the Heart of Darkness and Sedina's Memento. They are going to disappear forever. You will get to keep Stormheart, though. So, we give the gifts. Portal opens up. Let's go in. Now, before I get too far into this, and you can leave if you want, you really, really must have max resist. If you're coming in here with a hole in your resistances, you are going to die. You also need to have decent armor. So any armor piece that's lower than like level, probably 20 levels lower than you, is very sus. So I'm wearing level 70 stuff in a couple of slots. That's not great. I do have a very nice buffer for HP and max resist, and my armor is kind of okay. So we'll see how this goes. But you really want to be as tanky as you can be in here. You are not welcome. Again, you can go ahead and read this. This Ruined Shrine, pretty much never want to use. It costs you a skeleton key. The loot you get, I mean, of course it's really, really good. So the Blightlord's Mantle. Blightlord is one of the sets that I was planning on using for my Defiler. So I guess I'll take that. Mage Slayer's Hood. If you get one of these recipes and required player level is 94 on the item you crafted, you just found an entire set. So obviously I'm not interested in the Mage Slayer's set for this character, but I could craft 4 of the Mage Slayer's Hood, which is what this recipe is for, and then transmute 3 of them, and I have the full set. So, I mean, I guess it was kind of worth it this time, but generally speaking, no. Anyway, I never made that character. Alright, so there is a hidden door in the back here, and we're going to go in, and I'm going to stop just after I go through, because I want to waffle for a bit. We're in a treacherous domain, which means the monsters get buffs. And this time, it's not always the same. You do have to check this every single time. This time, the monsters get a bunch of attack speed and some extra bleeding damage. Okay, so if they didn't do bleeding damage before, they do now. If they did bleeding damage before, they just got a decent buff to how much they did. The monsters are also doing additional physical damage, which is not great, because they already all do physical damage, so now they get more physical damage. And in exchange, as the player, I get 8% max Aether resistance and 8% Aether resistance in an area where there is very little Aether damage. So this is not great. Let's go ahead and step in here. Now, in this little section here, he's going to waffle a little bit. In this little section here, there is a trap. Okay, I'm going to run forward. Now I'm going to run back. These guys are going to spawn. So these will pop out and surprise you every single time you come in here. This area is full of chthonics. It's got some beasts in here as well, I believe, but it's mostly chthonics. The first guy we want to farm is pretty much just here. So we're looking for 4 heroes in this area called Rift-Torn Adherents. I think I'm standing and bleeding or something, taking damage. The Rift-Torn Adherents are what we're here to kill. The first one is just up here. There he is, Rift-Claimed Adherent. Ideally, you want to fight them on their own. It doesn't really matter. You can kite them around things, if there are things to kite them around. I'm not really loving the area here. Now, there's a couple of different variations of these. Some of them will summon pets. I've got the cold trap here. There's the Dark One's hood. This guy always drops the hood. So the first guy that can drop a piece has dropped a piece for me. Which is great. It's great. This little thing here, this is a pain in the backside. He will freeze you in place. He will do a ton of cold damage, and he will follow you around. and there's always one at the start. So once you get past him, this guy's going to do a different kind of trap. Nope, it's another cold one. Here's my second Rift-Torn adherent. Like I said, there's a couple different variants of the Rift-Torn adherent. Some of them summon pets, some put these on the ground, some of them do other things. This one didn't drop the item for me, that's fine. I want the ones near the door to drop the item last. Are you cold as well? Please don't be cold. No, this one's lightning. Okay, that's fine. We do want to be kind of careful going through here, but we also do need to be pushing forward because those little trap totems will follow you around. They will do a ton of damage. They will be incredibly annoying. We need to push forward. Third one should be just over here from memory. Maybe a little further up. Yep, there he is. Rift claimed adherent. I don't think I killed him yet. Maybe? Nah, he's dead. Okay, third one didn't drop anything either. It is nice that I got a drop on the first run through. It's not really super surprising. The drop rate on them is considerably better than the Krieg set. I think it's 8% for the Dark One stuff. Anyway, it's better than the Krieg set. If it takes you 7 hours to farm the Krieg set, you should be done here in maybe 10 runs. And all of them are in the same area too, which is nice. Okay, really keep an eye on your health. These little things are incredibly annoying. And the last guy is just up the end here. Now the good thing is you come in here one time and you don't have to do the access quest ever again. So once you've done the run around and collect all the items and talk to the ghosts and escort the dude, once you've done that once, that's it, you're done. You just walk in here next time. This is the last guy just up ahead here. Hopefully he's going to drop me the item first run, which would be ideal. It's not guaranteed, but it would be ideal. There is an arcane in there, so I definitely want to be killing him first and just moving a little bit in case I hear an arcane orb thing go off. This guy is going to drop me the piece of the Dark Ones. No, he's not. Would have been nice. Okay, that's all 4 dead, and I got 1 piece, which is honestly not bad. So I got the helmet, +1 to Necro. This is technically a Conjurer set. You'll see there are some Necro bonuses in here, +1 to Necro on the helmet. The 4 set bonus has +3 to Ravenous Earth. So this is a generic Vitality caster set. It does have some acid damage bonuses on there as well. So there we go. 1 piece of the Dark One set. Let's chuck it in the I'm going to use this stuff later, I swear pile. And that's what we kind of here for. Now, you can push further on. You'll end up in... Well, you're still in the edge of reality, obviously, but you'll end up in the Devil's Crossing, but it's been taken over by Ethereals and whatever else's. I don't know if this is supposed to be like an alternate timeline or something. I do remember this being kind of the last area in the game for a while. At least I think I do. I could be completely making that up. As Captain John Bourbon. There was a lot of things, a lot of places in early access where you would come across John Bourbon and he'd be like, this is as far as you can go for now. Anyway, we're not going in there. We are actually going to exit the menu. And we're going to do it again. Because I don't have the full set yet. So like I said, the good thing is once you've done this the first time, you actually don't have to do the access quest anymore. You can just walk up to the portal and go through. So let me vendor all of this rubbish. And actually I did pick up the is it the Dark Flame chest, I think it was, which is something I want to have a look at. Where is it? Here we go. Level 94 required. Vitality and fire damage. Fire converted to vitality is really nice. Physical resistance, piercing resistance, elemental resistance, +3 to decay, which is this one. So more on that is more damage, which is very nice. Reduce target's damage for 1 second, also very, very nice. And we've got a Spirit Ward proc. When we get hit for 12 seconds, we get a bunch of physical resistance and a bunch of vitality stuff. So at 94, we could wear this, but yeah, we're not going to, because the Dark One set has a chest, and we will definitely have that before that becomes an issue. Okay, Blight Lord stuff also could be good. I was planning on doing a Ravenous Earth Defiler at some point, and this was the set that I was planning on using at the end. I think we'll just sell it for now. Stormheart I want to hang on to, just in case. Actually, that one I already looked. That one's a bad version. I won't be using that one. That is a 1 per character item, though, so you definitely don't want to sell it if you ever plan on using it. All right. So let's actually go to... you know what? Doesn't matter. We don't have the outpost thing there. We'll just go to the Malmouth outskirts, and we're just going to run down to the portal, killing anything that gets in the way on the way. All of this stuff is reputation. All of this stuff is XP, which are still things that I care about for this character, so just blowing them up on the way is not a bad idea. You do, however, not have to kill these things. You can just hit the portal and go through. Alright, no talking to the ghost this time. We just go through the portal. Once the access quest is done, you just walk in. Same thing here, we just walk in. The ambush is always here, so be ready for it. Also, what are they doing? They're attacking a lot faster. They're doing more damage. Total damage modified by 5% is a huge damage increase. I know it doesn't look like it's a big number, but if they happen to have 100% extra physical damage, well, now they do like 105%. I'm not selling this very well. Trust me, that is a big deal. That's a lot of extra damage. So I want to be careful about it. Alright, we don't need to kill this guy anymore. I've already got his hat. Now, what this means is that I'm probably going to have a couple of hats before we're done here. Now, he hasn't dropped it this time, which is kind of fine. And I want to avoid those totems if I can. You can't always avoid them, but when you can, you want to. Alright, got the second guy. Drop me a purple, but it's not the purple I want. I want to avoid traps, so let's go up here. Here's my next dude I gotta kill. Yes, dude is the technical term. I do want to move around at least a little bit. Alright, he's down. I got a couple of purples, but they were not from the Rift-Torn Adherent, or whatever his name is. Okay, that's fine. I didn't want that health bar anyway. You have that health bar. And this is the main danger through here, is that you not really get cocky, but you try to skip stuff because you don't need to kill it, which is definitely true. You don't have to kill any of this stuff, but it can be a good idea to kill it anyway. Vanguard of the Legion, sure, why not? So the guys in here that drop the loot, it's only the 4 Rift-Torn Adherents, wherever they are, Rift-Claimed Adherents. If this guy could drop me... shoulders, is it from him? I forget. If he could drop first, that'd be great. Didn't happen. Okay, that's fine. And now we rinse and repeat. Now, this is as far as I'm going to go with this episode. I am going to continue recording. However, I'm just going to keep doing this. So if you want to see the drops, go ahead and keep watching. And you never know, maybe I'll die. Could definitely happen. Nearly happened just there. I do want to go back for Holdrus the Burning Bile as well. Like I said, all of this stuff is reputation, and it is XP as well. And Aether Crystals, everybody needs more Aether Crystals. Alright, there we go. And we can go straight through the portal after the Aether Crystal. through that portal. All right, and now it's time to be ready for the farming again. So if you're having trouble with this door, so for example, Revered with the Black Legion, lovely. We need to take a little trip to the Black Legion because they have some really good resistances. Really good augments, sorry. So let's go have a look at them. Okay, Talia, the Quartermaster. In the Revered section, what do we have? We have Mankind's Vigil, one of the best augments in the game, because you can patch your Aether and Chaos resistances by, what's that, 9 times 7? 9 times, yeah, 9 sevens, so 63%. Or you have Piercing and Poison here. Unfortunately, the one I want is the Elemental one, which is going to be the Coven. So actually, I could go and get that as well. So let's do that. So you're going to see a gear switch, which is always fun. Because I want to wear the Boneweave leg guards, or leggings, and I also want to wear Mythical Touch of the Everliving Grove, if I can. Coven goods. Wrong one. Alright, vendor this stuff. Nosferatu, pretty good pet belt. If you're going to play a, I think this was used in the Bleeding Conjurer build. Pretty good belt. Alright, here we go. Elemental resist are level 90, that's why. It's also not these guys, is it? Oh, there it is. Alright, well, need level 90, then I can swap that gear around, so a little bit of a, not a red herring, but... Here's a question. I rifted out. But where is my rift gate here? Oh, I reset it to Homestead because derp. Alright. Better get to running then. That happens so often. It's basically a meme at this point. Don't make that, please. Nah, go ahead if you want to. Good thing this is a short run rather than an entire castle like other places I've done this. Alright, so that's unfortunate. We don't need those resistances just yet, and it wasn't the ones that I wanted. Alright, what do we got? Aether marked, useless. Enemies have more health and bleeding stuff. Alright, I'm kind of okay with this. Take these guys out. It's always worth clearing the traps. Now, later on, you're going to be basically God coming through here, and you can do things like... ignoring huge amounts of these enemies. I don't recommend ignoring them until you are effectively God, and that's not yet. You do have to kind of continue moving, though. Okay, them having more health is kind of annoying, but not the end of the world. This guy looks like he's one of the summoning types, because he keeps throwing those other things at me. Didn't drop the Dark One set. Unfortunate. If you are going to skip a lot of this stuff, throwing out Devouring Swarm is not a horrible idea, because it will allow you to leech back a whole bunch of life with the proc from the bat. Alright, let's see if we can't take this guy out. Okay, didn't drop for me again. That's fine, we'll just keep going. I definitely should be fighting this stuff, but it's kind of whatever. Hopefully Kuba doesn't decide he wants to play. I do see this guy here. There's 87, which is, I mean, it's nice. Still pushing, still pushing. Gotta keep pushing. You definitely can do this the slow and safe way. You just have to be really careful, really mindful of the traps. Alright, here's my last guy. So we're going to take care of him. And he hasn't dropped it. That's fine. We go again. So this is the entire progress, I guess, of getting the Dark One set. Starting in the Coven is good. Save me a little bit of scrolling. Yeah, this is the whole process, and we more or less just do this over and over until we have the set. So 1 piece dropping on the first run is pretty good, actually. Let me check what their actual drop rate is. I'm curious now. So let me just bring this up, put it over there, go to Grim Tools, keep moving, go to Dark One's hat, jump through the portal. Dark One's hood drops from Rift-claimed adherent. Notable loot. Okay, it's almost 10%. It's 9.8. According to the Grim Tools, we have a 1 in 10. So in theory, you should average something like 10 trips through here to have the whole set. Keep in mind that is an average, it is not a guarantee. So you are not going to walk through here 10 times and guaranteed have the set. That's not how it works. But at least by averages, you should have most of the set. We're also going to have pretty good reputation from killing all this stuff. If I could get unfrozen, that'd be great. It's probably worth crafting some, is it Rime Frost potions, I think? The freeze resistance ones. That is almost certainly worth doing. I didn't check the chaos damage slows target. Okay, so not ideal. I broke my own rules. I didn't check what was going on in here before I came in. It's kind of fine, but it's also kind of not fine. So second one's down. Let's throw out some swarms so we can get some bat procs for life. Rift-claimed adherent. Down he goes. Unfortunately, drops me blues. Don't get me wrong, I like blues, but I'm here for purples. Okay, Ravager, mini Ravager can definitely go away. Got some other stuff to kill. I really am just waiting for Kubacabra to spawn, because I think it's going to happen at some point. Okay, Rot Spew can definitely die. Still got a few more here. Lots of heroes through here, so reputation is pretty good to farm. And I'm just going to run up here and kill the last guy. Where is he? Okay. I cannot ignore an arcane boss. Can't do it. He's got to die immediately. Okay, and the last guy has not dropped me again, which is fine. It's not ideal, but it's kind of fine. And I'm using Basilisk. Okay. So we go again. It's going to be interesting to see how long it takes me to get the whole set. I'll probably get bored and want to take a break after about an hour, but maybe I'll just record this whole thing and then upload one big file. So if you have a look at the length of this video, it's either going to stop around an hour, in which case I got bored and wanted to do something else, or it's going to be, you know, an hour or two long, and I'm going to finish it with the set. We'll see how long it takes. I may want to take a break, but also think it'd be okay to just show the entire process from start to finish. Maybe I'll get some other cool loot along the way as well. I will actually show where Lokar is. He is in a side room off this area. I don't think I'm going to be able to kill the root of all evil. But I can kind of point you in that direction if you're interested in that sort of thing. Yep. You did indeed let them all down. Alright, so Rift-claimed adherent number 1. This guy, I see the hat more than anything else, and I think it's just because of proximity. You tend to kill that guy and then this guy on the way to fighting Lokar. So you're gonna get more drops than normal. What have they got this time? Attack speed, physical damage. Okay, phys damage is not ideal. Okay, so this is where you would go to fight Lokar, just up this way. I am definitely not going in there. Luca would eat me for breakfast and probably still be hungry. So we're just going to not and say that we didn't. Definitely want the blueprint, want the Ugden Bloom. Let's go ahead and eat that so it doesn't drop again. And I think we can just kind of go around all this stuff. I do kind of want to kill the heroes. I also don't want to get surrounded too much. Okay, Ulzuan's Flame Spreader. Pick that up. Definitely found a cold totem here, or a cold trap. So I think we just was hated with the Ethereal Vanguard, okay. Alright, we keep pushing forwards. Again, the more time you spend killing other stuff, the less tries you get at this, but you almost have to kill some of this stuff. Alright, what do we got? Boom! Nothing. Wraithbound, Bloodsworn Codex, and the Berserker's Cowl. Okay, that's fine. We go again. What are we up to? Number 5? I think we're up to number 5. What, Dark One's Hood, Raiment Mantle Grasp, drops from different one of those. This one drops from different one of those. Just checking the drop rates on the other ones as well. I am aware that I am potentially dying here. Okay, cool. Well, actually I wasn't dying, but I was watching the screen. That was not a good place to do that. The drop rate on each piece is the same 9.8%. So actually this should be relatively quick compared to Krieg's set. Krieg is like 4 or 5% last time I looked. So this should be twice as fast. And I have done the Krieg set in under 2 hours. It's like an hour 47 or something. But generally speaking, it'll be 3-ish hours, 3 to 4 hours, I would say. So this should be about half that. So an hour and a half to 2 hours, I would say, is going to be kind of average. Having said that, this run is a lot shorter than the Krieg's run as well, so it should be even quicker. Okay, yes, we let them all down. I'm an awful son. I definitely do not want to be stuck in there with all of that. Let's go ahead and take this guy out. Okay, no drop. Kind of don't care. Like I said, I've already got the hat. And later on, you can definitely get to the point where you are just skipping everything because you only need one piece, and so you just skip all of the everythings and kill the one guy you need in here. Can be a little dangerous. Probably it'll be fine. These cold guys are realistically the biggest threat in here. Okay, just clear on the side, and then get out of the goop. Alright, old mate goes down. There's the gloves. And I'm trapped by the cold trap, which is really frustrating. Because I can see the gloves. I want the gloves. But if I go up there, I'm just going to get frozen in place, and there's enough stuff left here to cause me some issues. Alright, got it. So, number 1 and number 3 have given me their drops. So we no longer need to kill number 1 and number 3, but that doesn't mean that I won't, because getting additional pieces gives you additional chances to get better rolls. So it's still worth fighting them. Okay, this is the guy that I wanted to kill the most, or wanted to get the drop from the most, because it'll shorten the run. But that's fine. Okay, Seal of Might, pretty good for pets, very good for physical damage builds. Not great for us, although it is still good, because look at all those resistances. Okay. Dark One's Grasp, Dark One's Hood. We have 2 pieces. The gloves here, +2 to Ravenous Earth, +2 to Wendigo Totem. I would say of all of the skills that this set supports, the Wendigo totems are definitely up there. I want to say Bloody Pox gets some good buffs out of this as well, but it is kind of more of a Vitality Shaman set rather than anything else, and it's definitely a don't sell that. Definitely a Conjurer set that you can use for other Vitality casters. Valgor's Gems, I think it is the Ritualist set. Well, the Ritualist set. It's more kind of leaning towards Ritualist from memory. That's all right. Any of those sets is good. The Dark One set is good specifically because you can target farm it, and then you use that to get the set you actually want. And I should definitely be killing all of this stuff as well. Hound's Bite. I am looking at a lot of these items. Most of them are not worth picking up. And I don't really want to fill my inventory super fast, because then I just have to go sell more often. Already got 4.5 million bits, so I am actually tempted to turn rare items off. In fact, I'm going to. The gear I have is good enough to do this treacherous domain, which means I can actually just do this until 94, check on the Dark One set, and then I'm going to be laughing all the way to the You Can't Kill Me bank. Okay, this guy has put a sigil underneath me, which I don't love. Actually, I really don't like that. Alright, and we've got the little lightning trap going on. What have they got? Slow resistance, and they do some extra Aether damage. Okay, not ideal, but not really a big deal. Not a big problem. Don't get trapped. Make sure you can run away. Usually good advice. Alright, so we've got the last Rift-claimed adherent. Did not drop me an item. He did drop me a Padala's Will. Oh, that was another thing I did between episodes as well, is I swapped the empowered Padala's Will that I had. I swapped that out for the mythical one that dropped in the previous episode. The only reason I didn't before is because I didn't have the component. So once I got the component, I went ahead and swapped it out. Alright, he died. He did not drop the gloves again. That's fine. We keep pushing. Considering stopping for heroes again, but realistically, doesn't super matter. As long as you can push through, you'll be fine. Reputation and XP is really nice, though. Alright, I see another arcane up there. Where are you? Come here. Come here. Beacon of Lost Souls, that's a good drop for a Kabbalist. Okay, let's get out of the goop. And down he goes. Dark One's Mantle. Booyah. Alright, so we're now at 3 of 4 items. Let's head back to town. I'll show off the shoulders. And that just leaves the chest, which I believe is the second guy, based on eliminating the other ones. So Dark One's Mantle, shoulders, health, vitality, and poison damage, reduced stun duration, which is quite nice, +2 to Foul Eruption and +2 to Blood Pact. Foul Eruption is this one, so quite good there. And then the 3-piece bonus, I mean, it's kind of defensive, but it's another +3 to Wendigo totems. Really, really good Wendigo totem set. Okay, so 3 out of 4 collected. And we are not even an hour into this. I mean, maybe half an hour if you discount all of my waffling at the start. Might even be worth swapping to a Wendigo totem build. No, I think this is staying as a Ravenous Earth build. This is definitely a set that does support Ravenous Earth. It's just, it is a Wendigo totem set, let's be honest. And it is definitely a defensive set as well. It's not so much about the offense. Especially once, well, let's do it here. Look at the 4-piece set. So +3 to some skills, some vitality damage, that's all good. Dark One's gift at the bottom there. 30% chance when you get hit that for 10 seconds you will have 8% damage absorption and a heal. So 5-second recharge. Depending on how this one works this time, if you have to wait for the 10 seconds for the 5 seconds to start again, then it'll be 10 seconds every 15. And if this can override its own duration, which some buffs can, then this is going to be up pretty much permanently. So 8% damage absorption is very, very strong defensively. Is this better than my current one? Yes, but no, but yes. Okay. Everything is better except for total health, and I kind of don't care about health, so eventually I'm going to remember to repair that, or to swap that over. Alright, got actually 2 heroes in that pack this time. Thank you very much for the reputation. Although, I'm kind of thinking I might want a little less reputation at this point. Okay, no new hat, that's fine. Let's go up this way, try and avoid it activating that. Okay, keep going with throwing bees at things. Lovely, lovely. Please drop me a chest. Nope. Okay, that's fine. I'll keep pushing. I think I'll just keep killing them, honestly. Getting better drops is never a bad idea. Okay, this is one of the summoner types. He didn't drop me anything. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay, I've activated one of the cold traps, which is annoying. I've got a lightning one chasing me as well. Also irritating. Okay. That voice you're hearing in the background yelling give up and you failed them all, that's Luca. We're just going to ignore him. He can yell at us all he likes. Alright, and I'm just going to kill this last guy, or I would if he'd stop running away. I don't like the ones that build up that massive charge and then unload. I'm not exactly sure what it's doing, but it hurt one time when I stood there and took it, so it's definitely doing something. Right, so I want to go see Drieg. That's why I didn't do it. Okay, you know what? No. I'll go back to normal and get it later. I don't want to start that now just because this is kind of a playthrough, and I don't want to skip too much stuff in between episodes or when people are not watching. Alright, there's 88. So again, we're getting more XP. I didn't spend any points for the last 4 levels. Let's just go ahead and chuck them into the bar here. More health. Can't hurt, right? And more points in spirit. Defenses is something that this build definitely has in spades, so getting a few more, or a bit more damage from my spirit is definitely not a horrible idea. Alright, into the rift again, and I have definitely lost track of how many times we've been through here. I'm guessing it's around 8 times by now. That is definitely a guess, though. Alright, I think we can probably just blow them up. What are they doing? Regenerating and chaos. Alright, well, I have plenty of chaos resistance, so I'm kind of okay with that. Alder's Inquisition. Go ahead and eat that. I am actually quite surprised that I've not seen more than one hat. It's kind of okay. Yeah, still didn't get another one. It's kind of okay because, like I said, I just want the set. I don't particularly care if I have duplicates. But, could be good, you know. Pick the duplicates that have the bigger numbers on them. Alright, definitely want to be getting out of that. Potion is on cooldown, need to be a little careful here. We can kill all these off. Okay, he didn't drop the item for me. Chest, I think he has the chest. Either way, he didn't drop it. Okay, that little purple ball is mildly terrifying. I'm not going to say I would immediately die if it hit me, but it would really hurt, and it would strip all my buffs off. I didn't see what happened to the adherent in all that mess. I don't see him though, so I'm just going to assume he's dead. And let's throw some bees at people and be on our way here. I believe Kuba is still the only nemesis that potentially could be attacking me. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen. Alright, here we go. There's my last guy. Let's take him out. Duplicate? Nope. Okay, that's fine. Alright, let's just bounce back to normal for a second. I'm not going to be fighting anything, so I don't care about veteran here. I want to go down here. I want to talk to the Dreig guys and buy a bunch of augments. Probably should have checked before I did this. There may be some better options, but we shall see. How are we doing with Dreig, actually? Just hit on it. Alright, that's fine. What are we looking for here? Cactus powder. Alright. That should do me. And back to ultimate. Let's get into it. So I wanted to swap this one. I'm going to lose some health here. It's kind of whatever. Put that on there. Keep that in the I'm going to use it, I swear pile. And just jump back to Devil's Crossing to get my component back. Is the Aether Ward. Keep add-on. Yes, I'm sure. There we go. Okay, let's go again. What are we up to? 9, I think? I'm guessing on top of guessing here. Alright, so I'm still only missing just the one item. That means I get one drop and I'm done. Granted, I'm probably going to continue killing everything until I get that, so this could be faster if I was only killing the things that I need. Blood Rage's coat, okay. Bleeding stuff again. Once more into the edge of reality. Or the Sanctum of the Chosen first, I guess. What are we dealing with this time? Berserking, Unstoppable, and I get useless Aether resistance once again. Okay, can I just ignore them? That is the question. Okay, old mate with the arcane is definitely something I want to take care of sooner rather than later. We'll go around the side here. All of these guys go down decently easily. There's a lot of goop over here as well. Alright, he didn't drop me anything. Very inconsiderate. But it kind of is what it is. Alright, and still nothing there. Revered with the Outcast. Whatever. And it honestly, it is a whatever kind of thing. The Outcast doesn't really have anything I care about. If I could just get through all that rubbish though, that'd be great. Alright, and onwards and upwards to the final guy. Very unusual, actually. Haven't seen a single duplicate. I know I keep saying that, but it's still completely blowing my mind that I haven't seen any duplicates. Still no duplicates. Okay. 10, I think? Something like 10. How are we doing with the Mammoth resistance? We are getting there. Revered with Black Legion already. Okay, so This is still useful to kill these guys for the Mammoth reputation. And obviously for the XP. I wonder if I'll get to 94 before I have the set. At least in theory I shouldn't. Shouldn't get anywhere near it. But it's always possible. Alright, back into the Rift. Back into the Sanctum of the Chosen. What were they chosen for? We'll never know. Here we go. So I get to run faster, they get more health again, and regeneration. Okay, so they're going to take more damage before they die. It's kind of okay. Something is putting all my things on cooldown there, which is incredibly annoying. Putting all my skills on cooldown. Again. Having to use a potion as well. This is not okay. Alright, we'll go up this way. These guys with their max health reducing aura are quite dangerous. Okay, Rift claimed adherent. Down he goes. There's the fourth piece. Alright, so the video is at 1 hour. Let's go ahead and finish this run. Watch me die now, that'd be really embarrassing. But yeah, it took me 1 hour, roughly, to go from starting the quest progress until I had my set. I got very good drops actually here. I didn't get any duplicates, and it honestly didn't take very long, which is not really something I would expect. I would expect on average to take a little bit longer than it did for me, but still more than doable and much shorter than the Kriegset farm. Obviously, though, if you are doing the Kriegset, then you're playing a different character. But Dark One's always been easier to get than Kriegs, for sure. Less pieces, higher drop rate, much faster run to get to things that kill it, or that drop it. So, there we go. 0 duplicates. And let's just bounce back to town and we'll have a look at it. And then next episode we will come back and get started on the City of Malmouth proper. So, Blood Rages is not the one we're after. We are after the Dark One's Raiment here. We have Chaos to Vitality conversion, we have a bunch of physical resistance, and we have +2 to Decay and Blood Pact. So that is the whole set, farmed start to finish in 1 hour and 3 minutes. Minus waffling, it's probably about 50 minutes. So definitely can't complain too much about that. However, that is going to be the end of this episode, so I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.